Here's the thing, man. It's pay now or pay later. Like, at some point in your life, you got to do the fucking work, whether it's in the beginning or later. For me, I set up my life so that I don't have to, work later.
Scarface, isn't it? First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Push it to the limit.
My dad made a ton of money and he built this crazy house. He never had all the cool toys. Like, he didn't have the fast car. He didn't have the fucking nice watches. He just didn't have all the shit that I kind of cared about, The thing about me, I always thought I was going to be rich. I didn't know how. I just always thought I was going to be successful.
What was that moment for you, do you think, looking back?
Poker, 2015. I beat this one dude for like 54 million. I had money coming in from every fucking direction, so.
How do you actually meet girls at this point? Because do you just regular DM people like the rest of us, or what?
Chasing women shit is for the birds, bro. Like, the shit I've seen, bro, these girls are wild these days, man. Yeah, for me, I expect a girl to fuck me straight away. Like, and I don't look down on her for it. I think I'm a prize. Like, I think I'm a good dude, right? Like, if I was a chick, like, I'd probably fuck me. So I'm like, I have an obligation. Like, if a hot girl wants to fuck me, I almost feel like obligated as a man to fuck her. If you could get it anytime you want, you wouldn't value it as much.
So do you not value it then?
I don't value it as much anymore because I can get it so much. Right now, like, the level of effort that I would put in to get a piece of pussy is pretty fucking low. So we do test shoots at the house like once a week because there's so many girls that are catfish now. With the Facetune too, they can fucking edit their videos,
yeah.
Dude. It's so crazy, man. Like, a lot of the bigger Instagram girls actually really aren't even that hot because they get lazy. They're getting paid all this money. And for them, it's like, oh, do I work out or do I just Facetune my fucking gut?
Reach the top, but still you gotta
I got a fucking goal. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck it takes to accomplish it. And then after that, I think I can become president.
push it to the limit.
This week on the True Geordie podcast, just trying out some food with Dan Bilzerian. Standard.
Yeah.
Just
This is very much a food review slash
we're
interview.
big on food reviews on the show. We love to see. So we do want a little bit of an update as we're going because, I like your taste in women. I'm pretty sure I like your taste in food. So let's see how we go.
They seem similar.
We're looking at some
I'm just trying to get my arms like yours, bro.
We're looking at some lean chicken and rice here.
That looks like the villain from a movie.
He says that.
Like Ricky Gervais said the same thing. He just kept looking across and going, he's a big motherfucker, isn't he?
We got the beard game on point for this. I think this might be the strongest beard game podcast in the history.
It's just three guys with great beards.
This is it. It's punching a little bit there, if I'm honest with you. It's starting.
Sure.
Getting there.
Yeah.
Keep trying.
Yeah, well, you
Fine.
can only try. It's been a long day of interviews for you, though.
It has been, yeah.
Do
Just
you
fucking
get bored?
battled with the fucking BBC chick.
So what happened there?
Oh, man, she just went down the road of misogyny and fucking blah, blah, blah. And just,
Was she
BBC.
misogynistic?
The BBC love that though, don't
they were going at it, but I was firing right back.
Really?
Because fuck them.
Yeah. I hate cunts like that. So, you're putting more women in jobs than her, and you're the misogynist.
fact.
You're the fucking misogynist,
That's so
mate.
crazy.
Joke, mate.
Suppose there's a load of people who work for this vape company as well, hey Dan? 6 months.
Put her in a bikini, make her a millionaire.
That's not the way it works.
Save just
Not the way it works.
complaining then.
Not the way it
Yeah.
works. Not the way it works. Do you enjoy that?
What's that?
Do you enjoy the sort if someone comes in and they're like, I'm going to nail
Trying to
this
take you
guy.
down and shit.
Honestly, man, like, I've heard all that shit, so, and I don't really give a fuck, so, people want to ask me a bunch of crazy questions. I don't even mind. Like, the thing about me is, like, my shit's so out there that I don't really have anything to hide, So there's no, like, real, like, they're not going to, like, nail me on something,
You never get that though. Like, you know how some celebrities get exposed?
That's
No
the thing,
one
like,
even bother.
you can't expose me because my shit's out there, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you going to say?
Your Instagram is the thing they normally post to expose you.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
like,
the
okay.
thing. They normally people post the photos you post on there and go, got him.
There's some celebrities who are bulletproof, like 50 Cent. Like, you don't fuck with 50 Cent. He
Shot
will
9
annihilate you. Like, you can't touch him. And like with you, it's like, oh, I went back with Dan Bilzerian. Yeah, we had dirty sex and he treated me like shit and didn't call me again. It's like, it's Dan Bilzerian. Like, what were you expecting? The romance of the Titanic isn't happening here.
We've all seen
He's getting rid of you onto the
movies.
next place. Goodbye. All right?
I guess, do you ever just get sick of doing interviews in general? Just kind of.
Yeah, I fucking hate interviews. I normally don't do them.
That's what I love to hear on an interview.
Very
Fucking
rare.
love it.
No, I very rarely do interviews.
I do appreciate the time, mate. I enjoyed the Joe Rogan one.
Yeah.
What was the response like from that? Because you really, this weird thing where you got all these fucking Instagram followers, but no one really knew what you were like until that podcast. What have people been like since then?
It's been positive. I mean, look, I just keep it real, man. So like my interviews just just be whatever. I don't prepare for them. I just just answer the questions honestly, and it is what it is.
So back in the day, you obviously a ladies' man anyway. You enjoyed that kind of lifestyle.
Well, not always. Not in high school. Not in the military.
Really?
No, didn't really get a lot of pussy in the military.
Not in high school either.
High school is tough, man.
Yeah.
Went to 5 different schools, so I was like, I was popping around. I got thrown in jail my senior year, so like didn't really have a senior.
What do you
year.
go to jail for?
This is petty shit.
All right.
A machine gun in the car.
Yeah, you've always had a
theme
love
on our
for that,
podcast.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like making up for lost time a little bit, is it? Do you think you're like, oh, now who's the fucking daddy?
I mean, I could have probably used that excuse like a while back, but I think we've like,
I think you've exceeded that
Yeah,
a little bit.
crossed that
5 years ago, maybe it was enough.
yeah, now it's just like, man, I think I might be a sex addict, bro.
Yeah.
No.
This is your intervention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm taking over from here. I got this.
Yeah.
Pass the mantle.
Yeah.
I got the beard. I'm ready.
Stunt cock.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Yeah. if you-
The staff downstairs said, "Oh, you bought a blow-up version of Dan Bilzerian."
no,
I
but
said,
if you ever
no.
need a backup and you're just like, I'm fucking tired, I'll give you my number. I'll tag in. It's fine.
Could have tapped you last night, man. Much more than I could handle.
But this is how do you actually meet girls at this point? Because I mean, I guess is it contacting you through Instagram or what is it these days? Do you just regular DM people like the rest of us or what?
No, I never slide in the DMs.
Okay.
I don't like that because it fucks up the dynamic. Like when a girl's chasing you, it's way better because you can kind of like push away, and then when they finally fuck you, they feel like, oh, like I got the prize. Like, you know what I mean? They're stoked about it.
That's so weird when you become the prize as a man. Like
No, but that's the thing. Like that's you gotta flip that on its head because it's like chasing women shit is for the birds, bro. And once you do that, like once you tell a girl how interested you are in her, then it automatically like subconsciously makes her slightly less interested in you. And then they're like looking for reasons why to disqualify you or why they shouldn't hook up with you because they know they got you.
Do you not think this is a new thing though? Because Tinder and social media and all of this, like all of a sudden, men's options have changed. So like back in the day,
Well,
I
the
guess
options haven't changed, but the access has changed. That's the difference.
yeah.
Now you have access. Now any girl that wants to fuck any celebrity, they have access to them, and that was not true, 10 years ago, right? Like if a girl wants to DM, whatever, Brad Pitt, or I don't know if he has social media, but most of the guys have the social media, right?
I bet he's on there now after getting rid of Angelina. Yeah, man. Fucking started an Instagram account up.
You should.
Brad Pitt.
But it wouldn't. I mean, he's probably a bad example. I don't even know if he has an IG. But the point is that most A-list celebrities now have an Instagram, and so if a girl wants to hit them up and wants to hook up with them, they can just DM them directly. They don't have to go through an agent. They don't have to deal with whatever they used to have to do, or it would be set up. And so you can do it with a lot more discretion, and nobody would know. I mean, like there's college chicks that have fucked like a bunch of celebrities and nobody even knows because it's kind of like on
They're the
side.
good ones. They keep their fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, and they got boyfriends and whatever, So like, like the shit I've seen. I mean, bro, these girls are wild these days, man. And they got boyfriends, fucking, fiancés, whatever, and they don't give a fuck. It's the craziest thing.
Which country is wild? Like you, because obviously you travel quite a lot, so you have access to a lot of international people, should we say?
Where's the best pussy is what we're asking.
That's a very crude way of putting
I'm
it,
getting
but it's
it out
definitely sort of.
No, but I mean,
I was thinking, who do you
he's
enjoy
probably
hanging
got a
out
top
with?
5, to be fair to him. But like, if you could narrow down to 3, I'll be accepted.
Where's the best pussy? I mean, honestly, dude, it's hard to beat LA. I mean, LA is kind of like the mecca of where all the hot chicks go. But like, if you were talking about a country where it's the hottest girls, I mean, Colombia's got to be up there. Venezuela's got to be up there.
Yeah, Sweden's good. I don't know. I've never been.
Yeah, Sweden got to be good. Russia, you know what I mean? Saying like, there's definitely like, some of those like the Eastern Bloc. So I guess you got to kind of narrow it down, and it also depends on what type of girl you like. Like if you like the big ass, then I guess
That's
Brazil's probably going to be your
Yeah,
move.
if you know any.
Sure, because he is genuinely looking for.
Yeah, if you like the huge ass, man, Brazil is your fucking spot, bro.
What do you think about internet dating? Because I think internet dating has become sort of like
This is so similar to the BBC interview.
No,
it's
it's
weird.
like internet dating has put the power a lot more with men, because back in the day, like, you know, we meet a girl in a bar. I guess when my parents were fucking around and that, you, as a man, you kind of have to get her attention, go over, try. Like, it's a lot more work nowadays. As a man, you're just swiping. And if she isn't putting it out easily, just swiping. Like, things are changing where men are finding it a lot easier to just get women, and I think that, I don't know, like, romance is fucking dead for a start. Like, that's, I mean,
Well, I got kind of a unique view on it. I don't believe in dating. My whole thing is that the longer you wait to sleep with a girl, the more fucked up the relationship becomes, because the guy is kind of pretending to be who the girl, or who he thinks the girl wants him to be, so he can get the pussy, right? And the girl is trying to be the best version of herself. You know what I mean? So it's not like a real...
it's like PAs or something, isn't it?
It's bullshit, man. It's like, it's just acting, you know? And so the problem is, the longer they act, then when they do finally fuck and when they do start like actually hanging out, then it's like, how long do they maintain this facade, right? Because the girls like claimed like, oh, I've only hooked up with 3 guys and I'm not normally like this and blah, 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 blah. And then a year down the road, you know, he finds, you know, out a bunch of shit about the girl, or, you know, or she can't maintain her, whatever, her girlfriend, you know, spills beans, whatever. But the point is, when you fuck a girl straight away, and especially when she has a boyfriend and there's just like nothing to lie about, it's like a more pure relationship and the foundation is better. But if you like spend those like whatever weeks dating, like meeting the fake version of her, and she kind of like meets the fake version of you because you're trying to like, you know, do what you got to do to get laid, right? So it's just an inauthentic interaction, and I feel like it takes you backwards, you know?
But women are convinced, though. They're convinced that if they fuck you straight away, or you're not going to like them anymore, and all that,
True,
it makes no difference.
I think that's true of guys that don't have respect for themselves, because if a guy doesn't respect himself, then if he fucks a girl straight away, he looks down on her for fucking him.
Even though he's done the same thing.
Yeah, for me, I expect a girl to fuck me straight away. Like, and I don't look down on her for it. I think I'm a prize. Like, I think I'm a good dude, right? Like, if I was a chick, like, you know, I'd probably fuck me. So I'm like, I don't hold it against them. You know what I'm saying? I think guys that hold it against them are the ones that are insecure. You know, and so I don't look at it like that. Like, I've dated a lot of girls. I slept with them the first night, so I don't ever hold that against.
If anything, it's about, like, it puts them up in my eyes. I'm like, oh, she didn't make me fucking go through the toothache.
Yeah, or to me, it's like she's really into me, and that's a turn on for me. Like, I like.
I want to be wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't
I
want
like
me,
a girl,
what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Pet?
fuck you then. Yeah, exactly. Like, I like a girl that's really into me. If she's not into me, fuck it. There's plenty that are. You know what I'm saying? The sex is better when a girl's super into me. So I don't even want to fuck a chick that's like on the fence. Like, you figure it out. Come back when you're ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the sex is gonna be better. Like, you know, I've hooked up with girls that are, you know, like, fuck, they're coming in the first like minute because they're so stoked to be hooking up with me. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes like you hook up with a fan or whatever, and they're just like so happy to be there, and then the sex is good.
And that's an ego trip as well, I bet. I fucking love this shit.
Yeah, of course I catered my ego.
That must have flipped at some point. You were saying before that wasn't the, I guess, the tap. That
What do you mean?
just took. So, you know, you were saying in high school you're not particularly getting whatever you want. Same in the military. Was that down to you, or was that just down to your lifestyle at that point? What's the difference? And because, you know,
a lot of the reason that I get laid, you know, a lot and easily is because of life setup. You know, it's not because I'm so good looking or I have great game or anything. Like, I feel like I'm, you know, above average looking dude, but my game is probably like, you know, decent, but it's not like anything amazing. The reason I get so much like top tier pussy is because of how I've set my life up, you know, and like the situations that I put myself in. And when you're at a party, and I learned this when I was in a fraternity, if you're at a party and you've got, you know, whatever, 300-400 girls and there's, you know, 40 guys, like, they got to compete for you. Like, and if nobody shows them attention, like, they almost got to fuck a guy to feel validated. So it kind of flips the whole thing.
It's like you always play gambling. You always play the odds, and that's in your favor.
Life is all about odds, bro. Life is all about, you know, calculated risk. It's about statistics, and it's no different, you know, with the women. So if you've got, I mean, look, and it's fair. Like, they got, most of the time, guys are competing for them. They're chasing after their ass. They're catering to them. They're buying them fucking presents. They're doing all this bullshit. Like, why shouldn't they chase us? You know, like,
this is it.
The fuck, man.
it goes
you
both
know?
ways.
Yeah, it should go both ways. It doesn't normally, but I make it go both ways. So, you know, I make it to where they, you know, they got to put in some effort to get to me. You know?
Life's so much better when you're successful. I found that.
Right.
Genuinely, yeah.
I wish I knew what
Here's
that
the
felt
thing,
like.
man. It's pay now or pay later. You know, the guy that was in high school, partied a bunch, got pussy, but didn't, you know, go to class or whatever. Dude might be pumping gas right now, you know what I mean? But the guy that busted his ass, you know, and not that this was my path, I certainly didn't go down this path, but, you know, the guy busted his ass, went to college, did well, made a bunch of money. Now he can set up his life to where, you know, he can, you know, live better. He doesn't have to make his bed. He's got, you know, a chef to make him food. He's got access to more women. He doesn't have to put as much effort in. But he had to put in efforts at some point. You know what I mean? Like at some point in your life, you got to do the fucking work, whether it's in the beginning or later. I just feel like it's better to front load it, do the work in the beginning. So for me, I set up my life so that I don't have to, you know, work later. I mean, you still got to work, right? But it's just in a different way. It's for me, it's, you know, I set up my life, and that is work.
It's the fucking Scarface, isn't it? First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. He fucking nailed it. He absolutely
That's
nailed
why
it.
that movie still resonates with people.
I love it. I love it.
That movie is so fucking good.
Mate, it's my fucking life, like, dream that I just, apart from when he gets shot at the end.
I remember when you said to me
It's
if it was
funny now, though,
documentary.
man, because I'm like hanging out with these girls, and, you know, the girls I'm hanging out with, they're like, you know, they're staying the same age, but I'm getting a little bit older. And you just like, you'll bring up movies like that, or you like quote a movie, and they'll just like not know what
the
you're
fuck
talking
is this
about.
old
You're
guy
just like,
talking
wait,
about?
what? Like,
No, but then they keep laughing like, yeah.
yeah, right? Like, wait, what? You don't know what Scarface is? Like, you haven't seen Heat? Like,
Do you ever just sit back and just watch Scarface with someone and just kind of go, just
Oh, let me show you this
know
for the
what I mean?
first time. You're gonna love it.
I did that with Rounders the other day.
Right, yeah.
I showed a girl
That's a
that
classic.
movie. Bro, I've seen that movie like 200 fucking times.
That seems like a real American classic, though. I don't feel like as many people know that in the UK.
Well, I mean, it just, you know, it resonates so strongly with me because I was kind of like my poker career, you know?
Yeah.
Going broke, fucking putting on the line, like going into fucking, you know, kind of like you know, underground games, and, you know, it's the whole thing.
That's a weird thing about your poker career is like the stories are sort of legendary, but also it's none of it. So we've had like poker players on before who've been like world champions, but it's all televised. It's all, whereas you're playing, I guess, other celeb type dudes, and it, you know,
That was my thing, man. I never wanted to be the guy on fucking TV showing everybody how good I was. I wanted to be the guy that people thought sucked, that I could play with the rich guys. Like, for me, it was like the one thing in my life that wasn't about ego. It was about bank account, and that's the scoreboard in poker. You know, so I just knew that I let people think that I had a big trust fund, and that's how I got all my money, because that allowed me to get into those really good games. And so I capitalized on, you know, that. And it's, you know, one more thing, that was life setup. And that was actually, you know, one of the drivers for my Instagram was, you know, showing these guys how much fucking money I had. I'm hanging out with hot pussy. I'm doing all this dope shit. And it made them want to play poker with me more, because, you know, people don't want to play poker with somebody who doesn't have a lot of money, because A, you can't win a lot. B, they're less likely to fucking gamble and be fun. And you know what I mean? Like,
and you become a scalp as well. To say I beat Dan Bilzerian is a big deal.
It's a thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, they want to, you know, they want to interact with you. They want to meet you. You know, it's a whole, you know, so, you know, it was multifaceted. It wasn't just about the girls. I mean, that's how it started, but there was other, you know, benefits for sure.
When I started like researching, obviously, all your stuff on YouTube and that, there was one poker guy, I can't remember his name, but he wasn't fucking impressed with you. Like, he was saying, oh, he's not that good at poker and all of this shit. I asked my guy, who is a world champ, and he said, all you need to be rich at poker is 6 people with money who are worse than you.
That's a fucking fact.
And he goes,
That dude knows what he's talking about.
I think he's telling the truth, although I don't know, but he was like, yeah. So anyway, you I guess the poker community, what are they like towards you? Because it seemed a bit like that on YouTube. Or do you not give a? You not
I
even
don't
listen?
give a fuck. I don't hang out with those motherfuckers. I could care less. I mean, to me, I never really like. I had friends that played poker, but I didn't really get into that like crowd that much. I wasn't trying to be a grinder. I wasn't trying to. I mean, I did my grinding in college. I played online. I did all that shit, but I kind of like moved on from that. And for me, it was about, you know, getting in the game with the celebrities, the producers, the hedge fund guys, and it was, you know, I didn't even want to be associated with poker players. Like, I didn't want to hang out with them. I didn't want to be seen with them.
They're an odd bunch. After watching that,
they're fine. Like, you know, there's like definitely some like smart dudes. There's definitely some cool dudes in the crowd. But I'm saying, from a business standpoint, I didn't want to be associated with that crowd, because it was bad for my, you know, image, and it was bad for me getting into those games. I wanted to be the rich idiot. I didn't want to be the guy that hung out with poker players. Like, I didn't want people to think I was good. These guys wanted these guys were like ego driven. They wanted everybody to think they were good. They, you know, it was just I just went a totally different route, you know? And like when I started playing poker, I was like one of the first guys that played loose aggressive, and that's kind of like the adapted style nowadays, you know. And I was one of the first people that kind of pioneered that, and it was good for me for multiple reasons because I played more hands, so I gave more action. It allowed me to get into more pots with the bad players and have more chances to exploit them, have more chances to, you know, get paid off on big hands, be less predictable. I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons, but you know, my success was not an accident. That's for sure. Like none of this stuff was like, you know, oh, like it just happened, you know, like this stuff was like proper planning, just same way as getting laid, same way as, you know, making money, all this stuff. Like it's, you know, it's a clear path. Like I figure out what I want and then how to get there. So
I heard you had ADD on the Joe Rogan podcast.
I had what?
ADD?
Oh, attention deficit? Yeah.
Has that helped you in any way towards all of this sort of being focused on these things?
I don't know, dude. I feel like almost everybody nowadays has ADD. I feel like it's like a function of just having like so much access and information at your fingertips. Like there's so much stimulus that you have with this cell phone and with the ability to fucking, you know, just get everything right there and instantaneously.
You more than most people though. You've got everything at your fucking fingertips.
Yeah.
Is that overload sometimes where you're like, fuck, like I just got everything here. I need to like break from. I need to diet from life.
It's tough, man. Yeah, you have so much like stimulus. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like when I was a kid, like we used to have to like go out and play. You know what I mean? It was just like go play. Like, and that didn't mean like you had a fucking game. That didn't mean you had a fucking, you know, like a tennis racket and a court. That was just like, oh, go find something to do. And like kids nowadays, they've got fucking iPads. They've got this. They've got Netflix. You know, it's just like is an infinite amount of like opportunities for them to like get stimulus. So it's just a different generation. I think because of that, like when you don't have that stimulus, like your mind is just racing because it's going so many different directions. And that's why I think people like watch, you know, people play video games on Twitch. It's just because it's just like action, action, action. And they have, you know, like watching a movie to kids nowadays might be boring, you know, because there's just not enough action.
No, I've got mates who are like that. They cannot sit through a 2 hour because they're used to YouTube where the editing's like crazy fast.
And
they're
that's why these movies like Fast
The Godfather,
Fast
they
9,
can't sit through that.
No, fuck no. They'd never make it to the end. But like Fast 9, like worst fucking, or Fast 8, or whatever the fuck the latest one, worst fucking movie ever. So unbelievable, terrible, just nonstop action, action, action. But it's catering to our attention deficit disorder society, you know, and that's why they fucking pull the box office numbers that they do.
I find people like you and like hyper successful people though, these are the guys who they never switch off. Like, how do you switch off at this point? Because
mushrooms.
yeah, that's the best way. Like, you just chill the fuck out. What does it do to you? I've never done mushrooms.
It slows down time. It kind of like connects me more with nature. It allows me to have fun doing very simple things, like just playing in the ocean, talking to friends, laughing about shit, laying on the beach, going for a run, whatever. It's very going on a hike.
Because some people might look at that and go, I don't know, you know, the fucking BBC lot or whatever. Well, why do you have to do mushrooms to enjoy that though? Do you know what I mean?
It's not that you have to do it to enjoy it. It's that, you know, you asked me how I kind of like...
How does it accentuate them? Does it just really make you appreciate it?
Well, it slows down time and it really like connects you with nature. And so it makes you not want to look at a cell phone. It makes you... I think it like removes your ego a little bit. And I'm not talking about taking like massive amounts. I'm talking about taking a few of these things. In fact, I know some professional fighters that one guy, he microdoses before every single fight.
I've heard that about UFC fighters and so. I seen you at the UFC, that fucking 5-second knockout, and there's you in the fucking crowd. What was it like to be there in person for the Masvidal knockout?
It was cool, man. I actually hit up Dana like fucking midnight the night before the fight, and it was sold out. And I was like, hey, you know, you got any seats? Like, if not, like, no big deal. I can go with Cowboy. And he's like, how many seats you want? I was like, you know, if I could get me and 3 chicks, it'd be dope. And he's like, no problem. If I can kick fucking 4 guys out of the seats and give me fucking front row right behind him. He's a super cool dude, man. Yeah. Really, really nice guy.
Do you hang out with any of those UFC guys? You said is that Cowboy Cerrone?
Yeah.
Yeah, you mates with him.
Yeah, he's a good
He enjoys a good time as well. He's on the fucking jet skis.
I like Cowboy, man. He's a real good dude.
Hell of a fighter as well.
Great fighter. Fucking super solid. Went snowmobiling with him. Had some good times. He's went wake surfing. We've had some fun, man. He's a good dude. Yeah, real good. Fucking played paintball at like midnight drunk at my house.
Yeah, he is fucking wild, this guy.
Fucking Joe Schilling's so drunk he fucking fell asleep in the middle of the game.
You know, taking it back to the women back in the day, like when you first started meeting girls, because we're all looking at the evolved version of you where you're just the expert at the end of the game.
Yeah.
What were you like when you were making the mistakes that all of these young guys make? Did you make mistakes at the start like everyone else did, or did you see it differently from day one?
Fuck no. No, I'm no fucking savant.
So you fell in love straight away and that type of shit, or did you ever fall in love with a girl?
Yeah, I've been in love with girls, but that's not like the pitfall. The pitfall is not having the confidence or the initiative to just go and meet girls. That's the biggest problem men have, is that they're afraid of rejection. And so how I combated that was I would just go up to every single hot girl that I saw and talk to them. And I wouldn't go up and say, oh, you're beautiful, can I buy you a drink? None of that fucking lame, cheesy shit. I would just have a conversation with them. I would just like try and talk to them about something. And like, yeah, I mean, definitely a decent amount of them told me to fuck off or whatever, but like I didn't really like put myself in a position where like it was, you know, rejection or acceptance, you know, like a lot of guys do, where they go up and, you know, if you walk up to a girl at a bar and you say, oh, I think you're beautiful, can I buy you a drink? You've now put her in a binary, you know, situation where it's like, okay, yes or no, right? But if you just go up and ask her a question or just talk to her, like, you know, most times she's not going to tell you to fuck off, right? But you can gauge her interest in you, and also like you're.
She doesn't want to feel pressured, does she?
Yeah, and you're not threatening. You know what I mean? Like, and also the hotter the girl is, the more, you know, she's had a bunch of guys go up. So you also don't want to like fall into the trap of doing what everybody else does. And so, you know, that's what I did in college. Is I would just in the military a little bit. That's actually when I started. You know, I'd go to the mall and I'd go up to every single girl that I saw that I thought was cute, and I'd just talk to them. And it didn't work out. I didn't get a ton of pussy, but like I got more confidence, and I was, you know, talking.
The military
to more
gave you more confidence, because like you seem to be like, when I watch your story on Rogan, you were like the Van Wilder of the military. Like, you were there forever. Like, and I've been around military guys. Like, they fucking make you one of them. Like, they were all cunts, basically.
Well, in SEAL training, I was there forever. But I was only in the military for 4 years.
All right, yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I was like the Van Wilder of fucking SEAL training, because I did 510 days, and it's supposed to be a 6-month course. So I was the Van Wilder of SEAL training for sure.
You can keep that.
What's that?
You can keep that tag.
Van
I
Wilder
like
of
that.
SEAL training.
What did you learn from that experience, though? Like, being around those guys all the time. I know you said some of those guys that you went on with would have, like, they died and shit. Like, and
Yeah, 3/4 of my class died. So it was actually a blessing in disguise that I didn't graduate, and I thought it was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. And that was kind of a life lesson that I took forward, is that a lot of times things that you think are just like the worst fucking possible outcome actually turn out to be some of the best things that happen to you. And sometimes some of the things that you think are great ended up turning out to be, you know, the shittiest thing.
But you didn't have. This is the weird thing, because I remember going into military, you know, offices and being interested.
You were in the military?
So I ended up becoming a deep sea diver, offshore commercially. But before then, I was considering the military, and I remember I went down to the Marine Center, and I looked around, and you're just like, you start realizing like what the fuck is going forward. But for me, I didn't have much of an option, and when I watched you, I was like, holy shit, like. This guy did have options. You had a lot of options around you, and you still chose. Like, you must be fucking crazy to have chosen that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, you know, I was some fucking great patriot, or, you know, it was no like noble reason. It was just because I got thrown in jail, and my dad, you know, he went in the military as a Green Beret and went to Vietnam.
All right, so this
and whatever, and he ended up getting into Harvard Business School and all that. So that was kind of his, you know,
The
redemption,
blueprint.
right? So. So, well, fuck it, you know, if it worked for him, it'll work for me. And it was that or community college. And I don't know, man. I never wanted to be average. I never wanted to do like regular shit. And fucking community college seemed like regular shit, you know, and just wasn't my vibe. So
and did your dad say that sort of fixed him, sort of thing, give him a good background to?
I mean, look, the guy went from being a high school dropout to fucking Harvard MBA. So, I mean, like, and then went on to like, I think he made like $400 million in 1 year. So, I mean, like, you know, it's pretty successful.
Did you ever feel like you had a lot to live up to with this guy? Because like my dad was a bit of a character, and sometimes they seem like larger than life, these type of people, with when you're a son.
I don't know, man. It was weird. Like, I always thought I was going to be rich. I didn't know how. I didn't really worry about how. I just always thought I was going to be successful.
But when you grow up seeing like your dad be so successful, you almost think, all right then. Like, so, you know, the mental barriers that I think regular kids who grow up in working class estates in England and America have, like, they view money as like a magical thing that it's never going to happen to them. And I think they put those barriers up. Like, whereas with you sort of didn't have that, and you sort of thought, oh, well, yeah, of course I can make money. Like, of course I can. Do you think that that's part of it, maybe?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I feel like I never worried about it. I just always felt like, when I was in the military, I didn't give a shit about it. All I cared about was, you know, being a Navy SEAL and blah, blah, blah. And then when I went to college, I started playing poker. And I think that's when I kind of like put the money on a pedestal more, because that was, I mean, that's how you quantify how good you are, right? Is how much money you made. So, and I also started seeing it as freedom, because the more money I had, the more I could tell people to get fucked and do what I wanted to do. And I like that.
Yeah, you don't want a boss. You don't come across as that guy.
Well, for someone
No, I
who
really
doesn't
didn't.
want a boss, you went into the military, which is like the...
I did, which
What
was
was it
like
that
the
attracted you?
total opposite.
Yeah.
I'm a type of guy, man. I function well in extremes. So I do well on like one end of the spectrum or the other. That middle ground is what's not my deal.
Yeah.
Do you like high pressure situations then, clearly?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's just extreme. Just something like on one end of the spectrum or the other. I feel like that's when I function best, like with extreme structure or total freedom. But kind of like that middle, like, oh, you got to go into work at like 9 o'clock and you got a boss.
The regular shit.
The regular shit, I just never.
Boring.
And it feels a little bit like obviously, I don't want to get too touchy-feely about it, but obviously monkey see, monkey do. If you've got a father or family around you who are, making a lot of money, living in extreme circumstances, like you say, you don't really know any different. You've always had that. Do you know what I mean? You've always had that kind of mentality.
Well, I grew up poor, and then my dad made a bunch of money, and then I went in the military and I was on my own, so...
Do you mind if I, when the money came along, did that change you at all? Did it change like your perspective?
You mean when I was younger, or when
when you were younger? No, when you.
Oh, when my dad made the money.
When you.
Do you remember like actually thinking things are different, or was it just like, oh well?
It was weird, man. Like my dad made a ton of money and he built this crazy house, but I didn't really spend much time living in it. I think I only lived in it for like a couple of years. And he never had all the cool toys. Like, he didn't have the fast car. He didn't have the fucking nice watches. He didn't have like...
He didn't do it right.
Essentially, yeah.
He just didn't have all the shit that I kind of cared about, And like, my next door neighbor did. Like, he had a house like a fourth of the size of ours, but he had all that dope shit. He had the Lamborghini. He had the fucking Rolls Royce. He had the cool watches. He had the hot stripper girlfriends, the cigarette boat. And I'm like, here's my dad, like, driving
You're sitting there, your
Jeep.
dad. The next door neighbor's fucking killing it, mate.
Yeah, I'm like,
Your
what
shit.
the fuck are we doing?
Were you looking over the fence, or were you like, hey, they have kids?
We were family friends, so I mean, I'd hang out with them, and the fucking guy took me to strip club, and he had the hot chicks, and it was just like everything my dad didn't have.
Where are these family friends that you get? Like, just going out with the neighbors. Oh, where are you going? Doesn't matter, Dad. Doesn't matter. It's fine. I'll see you later.
Right?
He educated you.
Yeah. Did you feel a little like you were a little? You had your eyes opened in a way by neighbors like that?
I mean, I just knew that was the kind of shit that like I cared about. I didn't care about like the 44,000 square foot house with the shitty car. Like I wanted the smaller house with the dope toys. Like I just wanted the toys, So that's why when I got rich personally, I just bought every fucking toy. I remember I got to the point where I had like a Lamborghini fucking parked on the street, and it was like raining and I didn't have the top on, and I'm just like, okay, this is getting to the point where it's like a little ridiculous, right? Like we're like letting fucking $600,000 cars get fucking drained in the rain. Like okay, like maybe.
What is your favorite car, by the way?
I used to be like a really big car guy, and now I'm more into the off-road stuff. Like I got it's called a pre-runner. It's basically a trophy truck with a cab on it. Yeah. And that shit to me is super cool because like bombing through the desert at like 100, 110 miles an hour, going through fucking 5-6 foot whoops and just taking it like it's a fucking nothing and being fucking sideways and jumping it. And I mean that shit's like so much cooler than driving a Lamborghini on the street to me. So
it's still good though, bro. We made a video about driving a Lamborghini.
Oh yeah, I mean I did enjoy that.
I mean it's all right. But I raced them at the track too. So once I did that, then it was like kind of hard to drive on the street, because the track is fun. Like I really do like racing on the track. But it's just one of those things where to do it. You got to like fucking send the car out there. You got to rent the track. Then you got to find buddies that have those cars. And, you know, the times that we've like tried to rent those cars, they've like chipped them. And so they shut them down on the track. They fucking came out and got us. It's like, you know, because they're fucking tracking what's going on with these things. So it's not like you can just go rent it, go to the track and rip it. I mean, sometimes you can, but man, we like lost some security deposits. I had a guy fucking repo the car. I mean, it's just, we had some nightmares with the rentals.
What about this, you know, when you started putting all this shit on Instagram, and like everyone seems to think this was a grand master plan and marketing masterclass, like how you built this empire. But the way you describe it is just like you were just putting cool shit out there. Was it a part of a master plan, or was it just fun?
No, man, I was just trying to get laid with less effort, and social media just seemed like the way to do it.
Instagram's amazing for that.
No,
I'd imagine
it was great, man. It was just like, and also, you know, I was like documenting my life and the cool shit that I was doing, because when I was younger, we would go on trips to my fraternities and stuff, and we had this one guy that used to video and take pictures, and it was just like annoying. You'd be like, oh, like fucking stop with this shit. But then at the end of the trip, he'd come up with this fucking video or this compilation or these pictures and be like, fuck, man, that's dope. Like, I'm really glad that we had that. You never want to take the pictures or do the shit, but then afterwards you're like stoked that you got it. And so the Instagram was kind of cool because, you know, it's just the opportunity to kind of like document like the cool shit that you're doing. And also I found numerous times when I'd like try and figure out like, oh, when did I go to Cannes, or when did I do this, or when was I dating this girl, or when was this trip? And I'd just go through the Instagram, and it's kind of like a timeline of like, you can figure out like when you did shit. And so there was that.
You do have layers on your Instagram, sort of you kind of building towards the man you are now. Like we, you know, obviously before every interview you go, let's check this motherfucker's Instagram.
Yeah.
And to be fair, yours is one of the more fun ones I've checked. And you go back and you sort of see you as I don't know, it's quite sweet. You almost see you as like a younger man who's kind of just getting into this. Do you know what I mean? You're still fresh faced now, but you're a little more, you know, young and sort of like a young man, you know?
It was a progression for sure, man.
Do you remember the notoriety that you got from it? Because I remember, like, it's a bit of a weird one, but you sort of remember the first time you heard about your Instagram account. Do you know what I mean? People go, have you seen this fucking bullshit guy putting pictures up with girls and all this? And then people go, what do you think? And then you go and check it. And do you remember that notoriety sort of growing?
I remember I'll never forget, when it first was real to me. I was in Cannes. This was, I want to say like 2014, and a couple of buddy of mine and me chopped a boat. I think the 12 days ended up costing us like 1.6 million or something. And we're on this boat, partying out there. And first night we were there, I go into this club, or not club, restaurant, and Ron Perlman's manager comes up to me and he's like, hey, you know, Ron Perlman wants to meet you. Is it cool if he comes over? I'm like, yeah, of course, like bring him over. Guy comes over, he's telling me about this movie that he wants to do, and I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he did like Hellboy, Sons of Anarchy. He was like, you know, fucking big actor.
I love Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, dude's legit. And so he's telling me about this movie, and he's like, you know, we got this guy who's going to play the grandfather, I'm going to play the dad, and like it'd be cool if you played the son. And basically, grandfather World War II guy, he would be the Vietnam guy, I'd be the Desert Storm guy. And he's like trying to tell me about this movie. I'm super interested. Every, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, somebody would come up and they were asking me for a photo. I'm like, yeah, sure, take the picture. Next guy comes up and interrupts him again. Next guy comes up. I mean, this happened like, I'm not exaggerating, like 20 fucking times. And then finally, like somebody came up and asked him for a picture. And he stands up, he's like, oh, like, who the fuck am I? Like, you want a picture with me? Like, you sure you don't want a picture with this guy? And he was joking, but I could tell, like, you know, he was like a little bit like, what the fuck? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, so I know he was like, what the fuck? Because this is like a, you know, fucking big celebrity. And I'm just like some Instagram dude. And I was just like, wow, man, I'm in a foreign fucking country. Like, I'm in France. And I've got all these fucking people coming up to me asking me for photos. And it was just like really weird and surreal because, you know, I didn't really leave my house that much in the U.S. Like I just like, you know, I lived in L.A. and I lived in Vegas and I would more just like chill in the house. So I didn't really like see too much of this. I mean, we'd go to parties, but like in L.A., like, you know, there's a lot of celebrities and a lot of like big celebrities and stuff. So it's not really like a thing and it's not cool to like go up and ask for photos. So I remember just, you know, being like, wow, this is like a real thing. And then I'd go to the club and like all these guys were coming over, and then it led to, girls coming over, and I end up like, I don't know, I think I fucked 14 girls in 12 days, and it was just like, it's pretty solid numbers, right? Like, just out of nowhere. And, I got Justin fucking Bieber laid. It's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm hanging out with, like, celebrities, and we're doing, dope shit, and we're having a party on our yacht, and, like, our party was, like, better than fucking Cavalli's party. And, this is a crazy thing. It was weird. It was all new to me. But that was the trip where, paparazzi was, like, following us. And it was funny because I remember, like, we were walking with Bieber, and, like, his level was, like, fucking crazy. Like, his shit was like, like in the movies, like where there's like 50 of these motherfuckers mobbing him, and he's, mine was obviously not like that, but it was still to the point where, like, fucking people were like swarming us and, taking pictures, and it was, it was just a weird thing. And
What's he like, by the way, Bieber?
he was a kid, man. He was a young kid. He, seemed like a, nice guy or whatever, but he's a fucking young kid that has, a bunch of fame and money. And I mean, like, I'm surprised he wasn't like super fucked up,
Yeah.
But anyways, that was the trip that it was, it was like, wow, this is a fucking real thing, and we're in a foreign country, and this is getting me laid, and this is, like, it's like, this is not just like an Instagram thing. This is like a fucking, like, I'm actually famous. It was just weird.
Quite surreal.
Yeah.
And it felt overnight sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, I hadn't really like done anything until that trip. And, at the time I only had like a few million followers, like 2.5 million or something, and so it was just like.
It's one thing when you're killing it in your own hometown, but when you just go to France and like everyone fucking wants.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
crazy.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, we're not in our country, and this is like,
Yeah, when I get recognised in different countries, that's when I'm shocked as well. Like, that's
especially
really
in France, like, no, it's
and this
hard
is
to understand
also
your accent
fucking
anyway.
Cannes, where it's like all the big celebrities.
Yeah, with the bigger yachts and with the bigger
Fuck
lifestyles.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is, you got the fucking A-list guys out there, man. So
Who were your like closest celebrity? You got any like real good celebrity friends? Because we see you around with these guys quite a lot. I seen like Chris Brown at your parties and stuff like that.
yeah, I would consider my celebrity friends more acquaintances.
Yeah, you don't feed into it too much.
I mean, Aoki, I've known him for like 9 or 10 years, but he works so much. I don't really hang with him a lot. He's working all the time. But, celebrity's kind of like a weird thing, man. Like, it's kind of isolating. They always want to go around with entourage, and I don't fucking do the entourage thing. And also, they're just, I don't know, a little bit like, they're really walled up. Everybody's always trying to get something from them.
Have you become more like that since this all popped off?
Yeah, for sure.
I guess the thing with you is they know you don't have anything to gain from them. So when you go to them, it's not like they're going, this guy's back for some money. Do you know what I mean?
That's why I have access like I do. Like, I have access to like pretty much every fucking major celebrity. I mean, I know a lot of them. And it's because, like, I'm not, I'm like fucking more well known than fucking a lot of them, which is like a fucking super crazy thing, right? And then, like, I got more money than a lot of them too, so it's never like a situation where I'm like trying to get something from them or whatever, and they know that. If anything, they're trying to get something from me because I'm always have the hot chicks around, and I'm throwing the parties and whatever. So my relationships in LA are pretty much like, if I can't get something from you, like, I don't really fuck with you, because in LA everybody's like trying to use you for something. So I'm okay having like a mutual, beneficial relationship where you're getting something from the person, they're getting something from you. But if I can't get something from somebody, like, I don't really fuck with them in LA. Like, I got my friends that I know are my friends that I've known for a while, like people I've been in the military with, college or whatever. But as far as like guys in LA, if I can't benefit from them, I don't really fuck with them, like, I just don't, because everybody's like trying to get something from me. They want to, get, they want to, get access to my girls, or they want to, go to my parties, or, it's just like everybody's got some fucking agenda. Yeah. So I just,
it's not genuine then, is it?
No, man. And people in LA are so fucking fake that I just, I don't really fuck with them.
It must be the same with girls as well, though. So you must realize that if a girl is trying to get into what do you call a group of women?
Your circle.
I don't want to say harem. Like, you know what I mean, though? If a girl is trying to get into that, into your pictures and those kind of things.
They want to be one of the Ignite girls and stuff.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, I don't care why a girl's into me. See, a lot of guys, like, they want a girl to be into them because they're attracted to them physically or this or that. And like to me, like physical attraction is like one of the most superficial things because that's like what you're born with, right? But your intelligence and like what you've built, your empire, your business, like, you know, all that stuff, like, you know, your power, like all that is like more of who you are, you know, or what you've built, and what that says about you as a person than like what you were born into. Like looks is probably the most superficial thing of all, and looks is pretty fleeting too. You know, like most girls don't stay good looking for a super long time. So
What's your secret?
what's my secret?
Yeah.
Fuck's working out and stem cells, I guess.
If anything, I
Those fucking stem cells.
If anything, I prefer it when they're actively repulsed by me because then
Sure.
I think, God, I must be killing it in every other apartment. Yeah.
You must love
I
so
got
many
it,
women.
yeah.
It's a joke. Sorry. But then you must. There are people who are obviously always trying to get into your group because they want. You know, they must think. You know, if I get alongside this guy, 1.5 million or whatever, so many million people are going to go, shit, I love her. You know?
How did they become part of that group then? Is there a process? We're looking at?
Application.
I mean, are you looking at like all right, yep, no, maybe. I mean, is there a pile?
Oh, as far as the girls?
Yeah,
way,
like
yeah.
What happens? Because there's always new ones all the time. I'm wondering what's happening. Yeah, because I kind of need this process.
So we do test shoots at the house like once a week because there's so many girls that are catfish now.
Oh wow.
And we're
How
hiring-
do they catfish? What they don't? They just turn up and you go,
Bro.
this is nothing
Fake
like
Instagram and
the...
pictures,
The
bro.
Facetune is fucking out of control now.
Sure.
Like the level of like photo manipulation is fucking like an epidemic. It's crazy. Like, it's so bad. Like,
I seen you
needs
tweet
to
this the
sue
other
these
day.
bitches. Like it's so bad.
You said if a girl doesn't have a video on her Instagram, be suspicious.
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. And the fucked up part is now with the Facetune 2, they can fucking edit their videos.
Yeah.
Dude. It's so crazy, man. Like it's so crazy. So like even Snapchat, like these filters, they make their eyes bigger, their nose smaller. Like it's, you know, it's a whole thing. Like it's crazy, man. They smooth their skin, like so they don't even have to do it. It's a different level of fake shit. And now these, you know, a lot of the bigger Instagram girls actually really aren't even that hot because they get lazy. They're getting paid all this money. And for them, it's like, oh, do I work out or do I just Facetune my fucking gut? You know, and they just Facetune their fucking fat gut. So, I mean, it's...
Can you blame them, really? Well,
I mean, look, I get it, man, but I don't know. I mean, I would say yes, I blame them because I work out every fucking day and I ain't getting paid shit to work out. You know what I mean? I've been doing that shit for 20 fucking years. So if my job was to look hot, you can bet your fucking ass I'd be in that motherfucking gym. You see the food I'm eating? This shit tastes like fucking ass. It's fucking rice and vegetables. Shit tastes like shit,
We
man.
got our food review. Fantastic. That's the Mandrake Hotel.
Well, it's,
Wonderful.
yeah. just
No,
beat that
I mean,
out,
I
'cause it's a
asked,
lovely
I
place.
asked for the shit. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
tell them I want it fucking bland. But
your
the
own
point
fault.
is that, you know, if it was up to me, I'd be eating Snickers bars and fucking Captain Crunch. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like these fat bitches are. But, you know,
Cheerios.
I actually want to be in good shape. So I eat fucking healthy. I'm disciplined. I go to the fucking gym when I don't want to go to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, so I just would expect out of a girl where her sole occupation is to look good that she can dedicate 4 to 5 fucking hours a week to fucking work out. Like, it ain't, you know what I mean? This ain't like a lot. I mean, I'm just saying.
I think everyone should work out though. Like I
Yeah.
think a lot of people when they
Of
get
course,
in
but I'm
relationships,
saying if you're
they fuck
fucking,
it off.
But if you're getting paid to look
Oh,
good,
especially.
exactly.
Yeah.
If
right?
it's your business, it's a little different,
That's
isn't
what
it?
I'm
Well,
saying.
yeah.
Then there's less fucking excuse.
I
right?
just,
Otherwise,
want,
it's
I
your
just want to
choice.
give a shout out to Jennifer Lopez. 50 years at the top. She is an absolute legend.
She's been
man.
in the top 50
well,
years.
She's 50
I feel,
or something.
she's 50 now. I don't think she was born and they just went, brilliant.
She is hot as fuck. Though.
Right.
Like, at 50.
Well done, J-Lo.
I keep looking at her thinking, like, you are crazy hot. Like, for 50, though.
Right.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
She still looks 30.
I think Angelina Jolie's in that category too, right?
I don't know. I've not seen her in a...
She's a dying piece. She's been asking out
Go on.
someone else in it. Like, she went from Brad Pitt and then went to another celebrity fella.
I mean, Brad Pitt.
Where do you go from there, man?
Yeah, everyone.
Only down.
They're both trading down after that. Aren't they?
I think that was part of their problem. Brad Pitt looks great for his age as
She
well.
looks a bit crazy.
Do you meet a lot? I mean, you must meet a lot of celebrities and just sort of go, shit, you don't look like that on film. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's the thing about celebrities is whatever you see is the absolute best they're ever going to look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're seeing them with stage makeup, with the fucking, you know, cameras hitting them at the right angle. Yeah. So that's actually kind of tough because it's like, yeah, a lot of times when the paparazzi catch these people, it's just like they're never going to look as good as what they're expected to look. So it's, kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that must be kind of demeaning in a way, where it's sort of.
I get really annoyed when people take pictures of me and I don't know. Because, and you're just, breathing out. And you're like, oh, fucking hell, man. Just let us know. I'll just sit up like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I'm on the train just, gut hanging out. I'm like, oh, fuck.
How much of you... Because, obviously, your Instagram is massive. Is it a lot of it like, okay, guys, today we're going to be just doing a shoot? Or is it literally someone goes, we'll take a picture down, and then you guys just pose up
how
and
much
it's back to your
How
day?
much of it is pre-planned? Because you obviously have a team.
I fucking post maybe once a week.
Yeah.
And it's I'm so big on candid. I never want to set up a shot for Instagram.
Right.
I don't like that, dude. I like to get a candid, authentic shot of what I'm doing, and yeah, it's got to be organic. You can just tell, man. When you see a picture, you can just tell if it's real, and I think that's why my shit's been as successful as it has, because I just don't do fake shit. My shit is authentic.
I've seen a few people try to copy you, but it's so staged, and I'm like,
yeah, it's lame, bro. It's not real. Do
you realize how many people though obviously look at your pictures and go, "Fuck, this is so staged." What do you think of those kind of people? You just had a BBC interview where they sort of go, "You're misogynistic." I've been talking to you I don't know how long I've been talking to you, but a lot of what you say, actually, when you explain it, doesn't sound as in the way that you would perceive it. Maybe a lot of people just look and go, hot girls, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What do you think of people who sort of judge you negatively?
Man, they're going to judge me. I mean, that's just the way of the world. You ain't going to be famous and not have people, say negative shit. It's just, come to the territory. I mean, you just got to accept that.
People don't like people who are comfortable in their own skin, and you are, to me, the ultimate of that, because you're putting it out there, what a lot of men are actually doing, with women and stuff. You're just being really open and honest about it. And I think when people are like that, it pisses people off who are like the BBC, basically.
I think that the people that get the most upset about it are the guys that have to pay the girls to fuck them, because for them it's such a negative stroke to their ego that somebody could be doing this without paying girls. Not anything against guys that pay girls, because here's the thing, man. The purest form of transaction is a guy that pays a girl to fuck him. The girl knows exactly what she's getting, and the guy knows exactly what he's getting, and both parties are happy. And there's nothing wrong with paying for sex. I stand by that.
Oldest job.
What's that?
It's the oldest job in the world.
It is, and
first job
it's
ever.
Fucking totally fine, man. For me, I can't get into it if I feel like a girl's, fucking me for any other reason than, she's into me. And like I said before, I don't care why she's into me. I don't care if she's fucking me because she wants to get famous or whatever. My issue is if a girl's fucking me because she wants to make $1,500. You know what I'm saying? I can't get into that sex. That sex is never as good. I've fucked hookers. So I know it's just not it's not my
They're
deal.
on the clock, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just so transactional, and I'm just, it's not my thing. But look, I get it, man. There's a lot of guys that have, sugar babies, and they have 4 or 5 girlfriends on payroll, and I get it. The guy gets the girl, the best years of her life is basically leasing a Ferrari, and he gets what he wants, and the girl's, she's got 4 or 5 boyfriends paying the same fucking bills, and she's living high off the hog, and she's got to throw some pussy here and there and whatever. But I'd fuck somebody for money, right? So, I'm not going to knock it. It had to be, the right number, but percentage of net worth, they're getting a lot. So everybody wins. I get it. I'm not hating on them, but I just think that for these guys, ego wise, for them to know that I'm fucking their girls for free, and you know what I'm saying, and and fucking better girls and not paying, it's just they can't. They can't let themselves accept that, because it's
this is not their reality.
They're no fucking way. Yeah,
right.
This is no.
Do you ever have to make a girl sign NDAs and shit like that just to be
every girl?
Yeah.
Every girl that walks into my house signs an NDA.
Does that take away a little from the
you must
mystique
you
of
must
it?
go for a lot of paper. You fucker.
It's a digital thing. They got it down to a PDF now,
Yeah,
where you just sign on an
thumbprint,
iPad.
boom.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, they sign on an iPad.
I hate to say I worked it out, but I worked it out.
Here's a question. Let's say next 5 years you have a child. Just let's throw caution in.
Okay.
A daughter. We'll call her Daniela Bilzerian.
Go ahead.
Original.
And then in 30 years' time, she's like, I'm going to do like my dad did. She starts an Instagram up. She's rich. and she's got a load of men around her, and she's going, hey, and the men are all bodybuilders, they're all prime steak guys, like bodybuilders, and she's sort of,
Some people like
she's
normal
got them all
bodies.
around her, and she's partying, and like, she's like, yeah, I just get all the dick I want, I get as much cock as I want.
This is his daughter.
No,
Let's
I mean,
have
this
some
is his
respect.
imaginary
Right, okay,
daughter,
yeah,
Lawrence,
okay. Right.
And she's like, if they're not 10 inches, they don't even come through the door. And every time I get their dick print,
that takes me out of the equation.
I get their dick print before they even come in the door. All
Right,
so
you sign the iPad.
No,
I'm
right.
setting the bar pretty high
Yeah.
with a 10, man. Fuck.
she's only getting the best.
Right.
And
Longer
she's
isn't
talking,
better. I'm just
she's
saying.
talking like you talk. Like,
Here's the thing, bro.
what would that be like?
It ain't like that, because the thing is, for a woman and for a guy, and this is the thing that BBC reporters didn't understand, it's not the same. Like a woman, a good-looking girl can get laid almost any time, any place, and because of that, you know, she shouldn't. It's like power, man. It's like, you know, you're a fucking big guy, right? So if you go to a fucking junior high and you go beat the shit out of some fucking kids, nobody's gonna high five you for that.
Right.
That's what it's like for a hot girl to go to a bar and fuck somebody.
Exactly.
It's like you going to a 6th grade fucking class and beating the shit out of
No,
some
they're getting
kid.
offered dick everywhere. That's the
Exactly my
difference.
the
point.
kids.
So the point is, you know, if you go beat up an MMA fighter, okay, I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? So my point is that for a hot woman to go out and get a bunch of dick, it's not like
It's not impressive anymore.
Yeah, it's not impressive because
Men are horrible
Yeah.
pieces of shit.
Well, it's not even that, man. It's just like guys, you know, like I have an obligation. Like if a hot girl wants to fuck me, I almost feel like obligated as a man to fuck her.
Yeah,
So,
but
like,
we seem to wake
That's a
up
good
every
line.
morning.
Write that down.
Yeah,
That's a great line.
When we wake up in the morning, we have this urge in it, and it's just there every fucking day. Like we need it every day. You know, women seem better at restraining themselves.
Well, it's not that. It's just that if you could get it anytime you want, you wouldn't value it as much. That's the whole fucking point.
So do you not value it then?
I don't value it as much anymore because I can get it so much. Like I'm still a sex addict, but like give me a fucking drought and I'll be like, shit, like I value it more. Like I'll put in more effort to get it. Like right now, like the level of effort that I would put in to get a piece of pussy is pretty fucking low. But you start me out for a few weeks and I'll start
Cold
fucking
turkey.
climbing some mountains.
Cold turkey.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I
So like,
fucking love it.
you know, that's the thing, right? So it's never gonna be equal like that because, you know, for a woman, like I said, they just, you know, they can get it whenever they want. So that's why there is a double standard, is because for a guy to go out and fuck a lot of hot girls, that's tough. It's an accomplishment. And I don't give a shit who you are. Like, it's not like super easy to do that.
But I guess the problem, like a lot of the time.
I want to ask one question.
Oh,
bro.
sure.
The thing is, though, and when you're used to driving Ferraris and Lambos all the time,
Stop talking about fast
do you
cars.
ever get to a point with these girls where it's just a bit like, whatever, like where they just become sort of normal and a bit? Do you ever just get bored of that? Or like, is there a way?
The thing is, man, every girl is different. Like every girl fucks different. Every girl like has something different. Like their personality is different. Like
The smell.
just everything, man. Like they're just, I don't know, dude. Like, well, hopefully their pussy smells like Fiji water. That's what you
Fiji
want.
water does smell nice.
Fiji water is nice. That's what I'm looking for.
Do you ever go like, come on now?
I said
just-
Fiji water.
Yeah.
This is
Clean that-
Evian.
Clean that up.
If I start having sex with a girl and it smells at all, I'll fucking take that condom off, go right in the shower, and fucking that's it. That's the end of it.
Oh my god! This is the thing with you. You don't have to be polite at all, do you?
No, I mean I'm not like an asshole about it, but I'm just like, hey, like you probably got like BV or something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I tell them. I mean, it's like it's a pretty common thing. It's not like the end of the world. you
No,
know,
but like I just
but
get
I'm
the
not gonna-
diagnosis of Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah, no, but I'm not gonna like finish fucking. I'll take the condom off and go shower and just tell them like what's up. I mean, I did it just the other day. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, it's not.
How did she react to that though? Like, what did she say when you said like?
I
Probably
mean,
not?
sometimes I get a little embarrassed, but then other times it's also like, I mean, because I've had girls that I've been like regularly hooking up with that I would be like, oh, like, you know, it smells off, like just go get it checked out or whatever, and then they'll go get checked out and it'll be like, you know, bacterial vaginosis, which is like a pretty common thing with girls. They'll take some pills and it'll be good, and they'll actually like. Shit like that like makes them more comfortable around you because then it's like, okay, like we can kind of talk about whatever. You know?
Yeah, when you don't act like it's a big deal and
it's
you'll
like,
just
whatever.
chill about
like,
it.
Just
It's
go
better.
get your shit fixed, like whatever. Like I'm not gonna like, you know, sit there and like try and like, fuck this chick if her pussy smells. I'm just like,
But you'd appreciate it if it was the other way. If they went, hey, I think there's something off down there.
Yeah, I'd just go shower. Yeah, if
Right.
she's like, yeah, you smell. I'd be like, okay, no worries. I'd go jump in the shower. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
And
or your breath stinks. Okay, I'll go brush my teeth.
She's
Like,
thinking to herself, I better keep sucking because this Instagram post I'm getting is going to get me a lot of followers. Yeah, I need to finish this job. Finish strong.
you stay till the fucking job is done.
She just puts a peg on her nose and goes, fuck it.
Sure. I mean, it's definitely one way of living. I guess the other side to it is people like the BBC or bigger corporations look at you and they go, well, if he's doing it, he must be advocating that everyone should do that. And I guess through the time that we've been chatting to you, it's not like you're going, hey, everyone needs to live like me and I'm the guy that everyone should look up to. It sounds like you still have a lot of respect for people who live in different ways to you.
I mean, shit, man. You can be just as happy, hanging out with your buddies, drinking
Yeah.
a fucking beer at a bar and, talking shit and whatever. Like,
Good CBD pen.
I didn't make that much money in the military. I was just as happy as I am now. True story.
Yeah. And it sounds like, that's, I don't know, it's weird because I kind of expected to get a different vibe. I expected you to be different. Do you know what I expect?
You come across as a very working class guy.
I mean, bro, I'm fucking, you know what I mean? I've been in the trenches. Like, I was in the military 4 years, college 4 years, I was a cop 4 years. Like, I mean, the people that I hang out with, ex-military dudes, kids I grew up with, UFC fighters, like, these aren't rich dudes. I hang out with rich guys too, but, I mean, I don't know. Like, I got more money than most of these motherfuckers, so I don't really, like, care too much about it, It's just more about, like, who the guy is. And,
Right, yeah.
So, I don't know. I think, like, a lot of guys put a lot of emphasis on their money or, like, their self-worth on their money. You should be proud of, like, what you've accomplished and, like, who you are as a person, not so much, like, what your bank account statement looks like, because there's always going to be somebody richer than you know what I mean? Like, so, it's kind of a, I don't know.
How do you deal with, like, the spiritual side of stuff? Like, are you... Because a lot of people would look at your life and go, okay, so he's ticked the box of the public image is good. He's fucking girls, great. How do you deal with the holistic sort of, like I say, the spiritual side, the side which makes you, deeply happy? If that's not too personal of a question.
Well, I would say the thing that makes me the happiest is helping people out.
Right.
So, I would like to focus more on that. I'm just, like, focused on making billions of dollars right now. I'm kind of like when I have a focus and a goal, I just do whatever the fuck it takes to get to that point. But the next goal after that is going to be to focus more on, like, helping people and doing shit that, like, makes me genuinely happy. Like, I knew I was going back into hell when I moved to LA and fucking started this whole fucking thing because, like, this lifestyle is, like, it's tough. I mean, it's pure fucking unadulterated hedonism.
You're in a snake pit in many regards. I guess
Oh, yeah.
You're surrounded by people who that you're an opportunity for them and you need to treat everyone at that sort of face
yeah.
value, innit?
Money, fame, the whole fucking thing is super isolating. But, look, I got a fucking goal. I'm going to do whatever the fuck it takes to accomplish it. And after that, I'm going to focus on, my next step. And, the key is, the key to be successful is to, focus on that one goal, accomplish that, and not try and do 50 million different fucking things, And so, right now, the goal is to, make Ignite as successful as humanly possible. And then I think probably, like, focusing on, helping more people out, doing some philanthropy stuff that, like you said, kind of, like, internally makes you feel better.
That would really fuck the BBC off of you turning into Mother Teresa, wouldn't it?
Nah, not Mother Teresa,
Big
but,
into vapes.
and then after that, I think I can become president. So,
You've said this.
Is that a joke? Or is
No,
that
no,
a
you said this a
realistic
few
thing?
times. You're genuinely, into this.
no, I could do it.
I mean, after Trump did it and
think I
everyone
will do
thought
it.
he couldn't do it.
So the check marks that I have to make is I have to make at least $1 billion or $2 billion, and then I have to focus on doing the philanthropy stuff, not for the presidency or whatever, because that's actually, like, what I want to do. And then after doing that for 4 or so years, I think the next move is to as part of my platform, give away the bulk of my money. Keep, whatever, like 500 million, 100 million or whatever, and then be basically uncorruptible. So you give away all that money and then you keep only a certain amount, which is enough to where, like, you don't need any more money. But to where you can't be corrupted. And then the platform that I'd run under would be just like, look, I'm going to have a panel of people that are experts in all these fields, and I'm just going to make decisions based on what I think is the right answer. Like, not based on who's paying me or like, you know, what
Like Hillary, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Like what company helped me get into office, or like who I owe, or like, you know, I'm not going to make this decision based on like, you know, what company's going to pay me the most, you know, whether it's big tobacco or farmer or whatever. I'd probably get assassinated. Probably will get assassinated.
What a finish, though.
But the point is,
Live by the gun, die by the gun.
Strong exit.
Yeah, the good
So, you know,
Get the Instagram stuff.
yeah, that's the thing. So I think that platform, which nobody else has really done, but if you run under like an uncorruptible stance where like somebody cannot fucking buy you and you're literally just making the decision of what you think is right with no like ulterior agenda, no extra motive, no whatever, just like a, hey, I'm going to do what I think is the best thing. Nobody really like does that. Everybody like makes decisions based on all these outside factors and whatever.
But people seem to be voting that way more. So like with Obama and even Trump, I don't think people were voting for them because of the party. It was about who they were as people. So like with Trump, because he did that to the system, and because Obama was speaking about
maybe
things.
check their prostate.
Well, yeah, but people bought into who they were. Do you know what I mean? And I think that you may have a chance at that.
Have you met Trump?
Yep.
What was your? Was it a long conversation? Or was it very much sort of like a hey, good to meet you?
We spent a few hours.
And how was that?
I mean, he seemed like one of the guys, you know, just
Right.
like whatever, like one of, you know, typical guy that I'd meet at a country club or one of my dad's buddies, or, you know, no different than, you know, 1,000 other guys I'd met.
Right.
You know, seemed like a nice guy.
If you get in, the guns will be staying then.
Oh, absolutely.
What is it about guns you like? Because obviously in England, we don't have guns. But me personally, I'm like, whatever. I couldn't give a fuck. So what is it that you like about them?
For me, guns, it's about a defense against tyranny. It's not about hunting. It's not about any of that other stuff. It's about having checks and balances against the government. And a lot of people think that, you know, oh, that's crazy. Like, you could never fight against the government. They have tanks and bombs and whatever. But what they don't realize is what happened in Vietnam, which was we had the Air Force, we had the Navy, we had, you know, more people, we had more guns, we had air support, we had everything. And they won the fucking war because we didn't know who we were fighting against. And that's the whole thing is, you know, if the U.S. government becomes too big and, you know, the people rebel, or the government tries to take away the guns and people don't want to, the government can't figure out who's the good guys and the bad guys, and they can't just go nuke the whole fucking country, right? So all these, you know, weapons of mass destruction or these tanks or whatever become like pretty irrelevant if you don't know who you're actually fighting against. So having an armed populace is actually like a very powerful thing. And it also, you know, it prevents crime. There's just a slew of reasons why I think it's important for people to have guns. Are you
talking in America or
Yeah.
just in general?
In America, yeah.
Right,
I mean, fuck, you could, you know, talk about a bunch of different places. I mean, look at Mexico. I mean, they've got some of the strictest gun laws in the world, and these fucking cartels are fucking shooting people and beheading them in record numbers, right? So it hasn't made any effect there whatsoever. And people like to use the example of Australia, but what they don't realize is that Australia is the size of fucking California.
Yeah.
It's literally the population of one state, one of our states. So, you know, they're like, oh, well, there's not, you know, any gun violence in Australia after they took away the guns. It's like, okay, like you've regulated like one state, you know? Yeah. So I don't know, man. I just think there's a lot more reasons why it's important for people to have guns than just, you know, hunting or whatever. You know, there's a lot of like, you know,
You've been caught up in a bit of a gun moment, and that was all over the fucking TV for the Las Vegas Mandalay Bay shooting. And I remember you saying, "I'm going to get my gun." Yep. You on the video, you said you seen a girl get shot.
Yep.
I mean, was that the first time you'd ever seen someone shot like that, like up close? And especially, I think she died, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean,
was that hard for you to like experience? Because that would fuck a lot of people up. That.
No, not so much. I mean, it was shitty. I'm actually, it's funny because that's one more of those situations where I was like so fucking mad that I didn't have my gun there, but thankfully I didn't, because had I had my gun, I probably got shot by a cop because, I'd be running around with a fucking gun and
And they're looking for a guy with a gun.
Exactly.
That's the guy.
Exactly. And at the time, we all thought it was like somebody walking through the crowd, Columbine style.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's, thank God I didn't have a gun. And, by the time we got back, the shooting was done. And it was more about, doing like triage and stuff like that. But, yeah, it was a pretty hectic thing. I was there for about 6.5, 7 minutes of the 9 minutes the guy was shooting, and yeah, nobody really knew where it was coming from or whatever. Tried to get a gun from a cop car, couldn't get it out of there. Then went over to this police barricade and asked a cop for one over there, and he was like running off, wouldn't give me one. I was actually a cop at the time, so I showed him my ID and my badge. He wouldn't have it.
I suppose in that moment, it's kind of like that policeman's panicking, doesn't really know whether you could be someone who's lying to him or sort of trying to get a gun for that reason or whatever.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, at the time, I was just like, fuck, I gotta get a gun. I gotta get a gun. I wasn't really thinking through the whole fucking thing either.
Yeah.
How long were you a cop for?
4 years.
Where were you a cop?
New Mexico.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what was most of your job in that time?
It was basically, I was a reserve cop, so we would serve high-risk warrants with the U.S. Marshal.
What's a high? So it's people who are dangerous, basically.
Yeah, like murder.
Oh, mate, we need a new series. Dan Bilzerian, like the new Dog the Bounty Hunter. We need to make this happen.
No, it was like that
We
sort
need
of
this
shit.
shit. I want to watch this.
But the bounty hunters, they have different capabilities because they're not sworn police officers. So we were going in there fucking machine guns drawn, and it was there's meth labs, like all sorts of stuff. So it was a different deal. It was like fucking real shit, and it was basically they didn't have very many people there, so it was mostly tier 1 personnel that were ex-military. And the deal was that you got this badge, you can carry in all 50 states, and the trade-off was that you had to go serve these warrants for, whatever. It was a few days every few months or whatever. And so, yeah, so I did that, and
what was it? Was there any real crazy moments when you did that? Like anything that you remember, or were you just
not really? I mean, I kicked the door in and did some warrants and stuff, but I didn't really have any. Some other guys that I knew. It just really depended on when you went out, because sometimes the shit would get fucking crazy. I mean, there's guys that got shot and whatever, but the ones that I did, it was we did a stakeout, we did a room breach and clear, and did some drunk stops and stuff, but nothing really super interesting.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did.
One of your craziest stories I've ever heard was when you got coked up and Viagra'd up and absolutely fucking off your tits, and you had a couple of heart attacks. Can you? I mean, have you done Viagra since then?
Nope.
Is that it?
That's it.
Because I would have assumed you'd be a prescription, you get the best shit at this point. Because
nope, no fucking Viagra. No
is this
way.
just forever? That's put
Never
you off
touching that shit again. Yeah. I'm convinced it was that and not the coke.
I mean, it's probably not the best cocktail, but yeah, I just
whiskey sour me. But you did take double the recommended maximum anyway.
Double, triple, I don't even know, quadruple, I don't even know what the fuck it was. It was 200 milligrams.
What was going through your mind at that time? Why would you
I don't know,
do
man.
that?
I was like, dick, get hard. It was,
Right.
it had been about 2 minutes and it hadn't done anything. So I was just panicking, I mean, on cocaine, things feel like they're a lot longer. And I just, the stripper was hot and I wanted to bang her, and I knew I had to use a condom and didn't want to fucking have some noodle dick, and I hadn't slept in 4 days and been drinking, and I was just, I don't know.
So have you calmed down a lot since then? Because when I hear the stories about the old days, you do seem to be living a bit cleaner and a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Less partying.
Looking at this, and
yeah, much less partying. Don't do the heavy drugs.
Do you drink much?
Rarely.
Yeah.
No, very rarely.
Is that like a conscious decision?
Yeah. I just I don't really like alcohol that much. It takes a lot to get me drunk, and I feel like I can't feel sex as much when I'm drunk.
Oh yeah, it fucks my hard-ons up.
Yeah, so it's for me, I'd much rather get high. I can feel everything, and I mean, the whole reason I end up getting fucked up is usually most people, they get drunk to go out and get laid, and they get more confidence and whatever. And I mean, I have pussy around all the time, so.
So what's to do with this CBD pens? Was this part of it? Getting high is one of your things, and obviously
It doesn't get you high.
Well, yes, but it does. It does
Yeah,
do stuff to help
relax.
you with your relaxation.
Yeah, no, the CBD is good as far as anxiety or whatever. It definitely chills you out, helps you sleep.
Tastes nice as well.
It does taste nice. And there's 3 different kinds as well, Brian.
I'm impressed with it.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm
Well-
going to take this on.
Yeah, and
You
it's
actually
like
should.
something to do too. You're sitting at a bar and you're smoking a fucking pen or whatever, and you're drinking. It's different than if you're just like sitting there by yourself. So I think that's kind of one of the appeals of cigarettes is that it gives people something to do where they're not just like sitting there with their thumb up their ass.
Where do you see this Ignite brand going then? You got like big plans for this Ignite? Because this could be. I mean, there's nothing you can't do with this now, is it?
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing is we have people posting and promoting this stuff for free, and they want to be a part of the brand, and it's got a lot of traction. I feel like now, like an Ignite girl is basically like what a Playmate was, in the 60s or 70s. Like if you hear, a girl's an Ignite girl, you're gonna assume that she's pretty fucking hot because we're pretty strict with our standards. So, yeah, I mean, I think we've really, nailed the lifestyle brand, and I think sky's the limit as far as what we can do with it. And there's no real CBD or there's no real THC brands out there. The only CBD one that I can think of is Charlotte's Web, and that's more of like a family friendly, overpriced, thing. So
How long have we been going, boys? Do you know?
1 hour.
With-
1
Huh?
hour 14.
Well,
All right. I got a couple of questions left. You got any? Any more? I got a couple.
I mean, I was going to follow up about it being Playmates, but that just kind of, I think we've kind of covered
nailed
that
it.
anyway.
All right. Last 2 questions. If your life was a movie and, you have the turning point, the moment where Scarface comes to America, or whatever, the halfway point where Michael and the Godfather comes back and takes over the family, like what would be that moment in your life story where you're like, now I'm going to be the Dan Bilzerian? Like, what was that moment for you?
well, wait, like which part in Scarface?
Like, I guess that for me in Scarface, it's the moment where he sees her coming down the elevator, something like where he starts getting motivated to take over everything.
Epiphany.
And,
Oh,
like where he's like,
before
this
the-
is all going to be
before
mine.
the real takeoff.
Yeah, before
I gotcha.
when he makes his mind up, like he's going to be the fucking boss.
Yeah. Man, I feel like I've gone past that part. I feel like I'm like at the push it to the limit stage where they're like,
Oh, absolutely, mate.
like
the cash is
bringing-
rolling in.
like
Like,
bringing the fucking bags to the fucking bank. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
what was that moment for you? Do you think, looking back?
Poker, like 2014 to 2015. I beat this one dude for like 54 million, and that was like my, Scarface moment where it was just like we were taking in more money than we could spend, and I had bags of cash, and I was making money and gambling, sports betting. I was making money sending this dude to China to play. I had money coming in from every fucking direction. So that was definitely the point. And now I feel like I'm kind of at, more of a shift focus on the business stuff and trying to do something, with a bit more longevity, something that is more, personally satisfying, or building something.
Can I? Because one thing that struck me, we were sitting and I was watching a video of you talking about guys working out and kind of, I think you're talking about steroids or something like that. There was something in there. You were talking about basically how guys, as they age, can continue to, feel good, look good. And
Yeah.
I was kind of struck with that. Is like you do have a lifestyle which a lot of people associate with being a younger man. How do you kind of deal with getting older and accepting that kind of mortality? Because you are living the opposite of that lifestyle.
Hormone replacement therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, mentally, like, how are you kind of dealing with that? Do you know what I mean?
Hormone replacement therapy. No, I mean, really,
You
like,
feel the same sort of thing.
no, I mean, seriously, I think that's, I think hormones play a big role.
You see these guys coming home, right, from their like desk jobs. They're 40, they're getting fat, they're bald, and like they don't feel good about themselves, and it's because their testosterone levels are probably dropping a lot.
Yeah, I think that's why I feel like I identify more as a black guy. because they have like just naturally higher testosterone, and I feel like high
Dick
testosterone.
size as well, of course.
It's a terrible trope. Not all people have big dicks.
The testosterone, it really does play a big part in your thought process, in your aggression, your sex drive, your
Decision making, apparently, as
your
well.
risk taking, the whole thing. I mean, it really is a thing. And so as time goes on, as people get older, they're more likely to settle down and take less risks. And a big part of that is because their hormones are, declining. And so if you basically keep those hormones where you're at when you're 25, then you're going to be, acting more like, a young guy. And so I think hormone replacement therapy is definitely like a big thing. And I think it's, it's catching on. Most of my doctor friends are doing that. Stem cells, another thing. Mm-hmm. But by keeping those hormones where they're at when they're 25, you can really kind of extend your quality of life. And
your motivation stays up there, sort of thing. You don't get.
Yeah, your drive, your recovery, the whole thing. And it's, it's a slippery slope too. Once it starts declining and you start losing muscle and you recover slower and whatever, it's just, it just keeps, going down in that direction. So I think the key is to keep yourself in that high normal range. And by doing that, your body just has less side effects too. These guys that juice really hard and then they get off and they cycle and they have this yo-yo effect. So what you really should do is you should check your levels, make sure that you're low. Because if you're not low, then just don't do anything. But if you are low, then just keep getting tested and take testosterone until you get to that high normal range, and then just stay there. And in doing so, you're gonna feel like you're a fucking young guy for a lot longer.
My final question is: how would you like to be remembered when it's all said and done?
Well, I guess as who I am and not who I'm perceived to be.
Okay,
I
so
think
people don't know the full you yet, maybe.
Well, I mean, if you were just to look at my online stuff, I think you'd have a different perception of who I am than if you sat down like we have for an hour or so and talk shop.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought you were a bit of a cunt online because no, I don't mean that but like I'm like, oh, you lucky bastard, do you know what I mean? But one that I would like, but I didn't realize how down to earth you are as a person. Like you're just like a lot of guys that I've like worked with and stuff like that, and I didn't expect that as much out of you. So I guess, but that's because it's all in a picture, isn't it? And you can't really tell as much. Are you planning on putting more of that out there by doing things like this, I guess, and becoming president?
I think as time goes on, people are gonna, they're gonna start to see, who I am, and that stuff will, come through in interviews, and like I said, is the more people see and the more I do, the more they'll actually get to know who you are. The beginning was just kind of, it was the craziness, man. It was the fucking, hey, we got a bag of money and let's see how fast we can spend it,
Your Instagram's changed though as well, because I remember the early days and it was just fucking insane.
Man.
Even
Less
now,
beard.
it's nowhere near as bad as that. Like,
No, now
you've calmed it down.
Yeah, it's pretty chill. Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot more chill. I mean, look, I'm the CEO of a publicly traded company, and I've got a lot of stuff going on, so I can't. I can, but I don't know, man. It's, I've got, really high caliber of girls coming through, and I'm not trying to portray them in a negative light. And I don't have to like shock people. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, I tone it down from like, if I posted, some of the shit that happens, like, fucking it'd blow people's minds, right? Like, I'm posting like the real PG version.
Oh yeah, they're getting the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, no, it's way crazier now than it was before, but like the pictures have gone the other way.
It's gone the other way.
Yeah, so like back then you were seeing kind of like the crazy shit. Yeah. And well, some of it, obviously, like the bulk of it didn't get documented, but now you're seeing like a much toned down version of like what's actually fucking happening. So
that kind of sets up for a great podcast number 2. I think.
We'll try and make it happen. Thanks very much, Dan. Appreciate it. I'll keep a hold of this.
Cool, man.
Appreciate it, mate.
Thank you.
And check out everything Dan does. Links in the description below. Cheers. See you later. Nice one, bro.
Yep, good meeting you, pal.